All right, back live tonight on In Focus. The Eastern Cape government plans to lease a portion of state-owned Bulembu Airport in Bhisho to the UAE President Sheikh Mohamed bin Zayed Al Nahyan and his royal family. News 24 reporter Malibongwe Dayimani is joining us now to make sense of this story, as it seems to have a lot of moving parts. Malibongwe, good to have you, and thank you very much for your time. And I'm grateful that you can come on, because at least you can make sense of it, because it does seem to have a lot of moving parts. From all we can see and know at this particular point, that despite a multi-million rand facelift to the airport back in 2007, this particular airport has really not been in operation, as not many planes were landing there. Is that correct?
That's correct. This tiny aerodrome situated in the Eastern Cape capital of Bhisho was built back in the days of apartheid by the then Ciskei homeland ruler, Mr. L.L. Zayed. And fast forward into the democratic era, it was then decommissioned for passenger travel. In other words, it was not a commercial airport. It was not operational. Over the years, then we saw it being handed over to the SA National Defence Force for its airborne unit to use it for air exercises. And we also saw it being used by the air assault unit in Grahamstown, which is about 130 kilometers from where the airport is. It was used for air exercises, and also it was occupied by the SAPS, the air wing of the SAPS. So we were really taken aback when we saw these big Boeing aircraft landing at this airport since Sunday afternoon, as well as and up until Wednesday afternoon, when the president himself landed.
So talk to me, as far as the classification is concerned nationally, are we clear on how this particular airport is classified? Is it a national key point? Is it a military airport? How is it classified?
This aerodrome is it's a government-owned airport. It's owned by the Provincial Department of Transport, but it handed it over to the SA Defence Force a couple of years back. So it has been used by the Defence Force. Even last month, when the EFF conducted its national shutdown, the troops from the air assault unit in Grahamstown actually went there and camped there for days in preparation for the national shutdown, and we saw them being dispatched to Bhisho, to the legislature, as well as to the airport in East London. So it has been used by the military.
Yeah.
And the soldiers are still there, some of them.
Yeah. So then link for us what then took place. It seems it happened at record speed from the 4th of April, when Premier Oscar Mabuyane landed from the UAE. What actually happened at that airport in terms of activity?
Well, this is what has taken everyone by surprise, and this has been kept as a top secret. What we saw, according to the law, according to the Border Management Authority Act, for the minister to declare an airport an international port of entry, he would need to make an announcement prior to that. By publishing a notice in the government gazette for public comment. And this uproar that we see is exactly because of that, because people have did not see the notice. Seemingly, there was no notice, and we also checked. There's no notice anywhere, not in the website of Home Affairs, not anywhere. So really, it's the secrecy that is made everyone, sort of angry and curious and suspicious, and also likening this with the 2013 Gupta landing at Waterkloof Air Base. Sorry. So they sort of linked it because here's another wealthy family from overseas landing at this airport, which is an international port of entry and being used by the SAPS and SADF.
Yeah. So, I mean, as far as you know, does the airport meet the requirements to make it an international point of entry for passengers who are arriving from international travel? From what we're hearing here, it's not even an official government business, but it's a private visit.
It's a private visit, and it happened. This happened shortly after Premier Mabuyane returned from UAE, where he met the president. And soon after he landed back in the country, he hit the ground running. He made a string of applications, special applications to various departments. I'm talking Home Affairs, the International DECO. I'm talking the SAPS, South African Defence Force, the Border Management Authority, to ensure that this airport is turned into an international port of entry. So he really rolled out the red carpet for this president to ensure that he has a smooth entrance into the country.
Yeah. So, which means, for example, immigration protocol, was that therefore put in place in these 2 weeks that he returned from the UAE?
What the Office of Home Affairs Minister, Dr. Aaron Motsoaledi, told us, they said everything was above board. They've done everything, but right now what we are hearing is that there was no notice, prior to his intentions to just to announce his intentions to turn this airport into a port of entry. So that is the issue that is on the spotlight now. And we saw that the Democratic Alliance is actually demanding the minister to show proof that he followed the rules.
Yeah, and there's a 20 million rand donation that is said to have been given to the Eastern Cape government to get this particular airport in shape and ready for the royal family and its president to land there. What do we know about that? Has it been declared through Treasury, through the processes of government, procurement processes, were they followed, how it was spent, and so on and so forth?
That's the main issue. The provincial government is very quiet. They don't want to reveal anything about this particular landing. Although they are saying everything is above board, and this particular landing is nowhere like the 2013 Gupta landing. But there's a lot that is not adding up because they are sitting on top of information. They are not sharing anything with the media. And this province, this government of this province, we know it has a history of announcing, investment deals, But this one, we don't know anything about this one. That's the issue.
Yeah. And Malibongwe, any reason why the Sheikh or the president would want to land in the Eastern Cape? What's the connection?
So the president of UAE owns properties in the Eastern Cape with his family. They own a range of resorts, game farms, as well as bush lodges. So he has this one he recently purchased just outside Makan here in the Eastern Cape. And from what we have established from unrelated and reliable sources is that he asked the Premier of the province and the President to be allowed to land close to his resort, not to land outside the province like in Cape Town or OR Town. This is after they checked and established that he could not land at the Port Elizabeth International Airport because of limitations regarding the runway. We know for a fact the UAE president's jumbo jet requires a lengthy landing strip. So what was discovered with the PE airport was that it could not accommodate the president's jet, as well as the C-17 military aircrafts that were bringing in the cargo. He brought quite a lot of things. He brought furniture, a fleet of luxury cars, choppers, food supplies, etc.
So he's brought this full-on entourage, including his 500 staff and entertainers and so on and so forth, and some equipment as well. There's concern that there could also be military equipment of some sort. Is there questions of security that are arising here?
Yeah, so people are concerned because we also went there and checked out. There were a lot of there were members of his own military there, and there were military aircraft there. So he is currently being guarded by his own soldiers outside the resort that I was talking about. And the SAPS is also there; it's also present. And it was the SAPS was open about it. They said it's part of protocol. When a head of state comes into the country, they have to give VIP protection. So I suppose everything's above board in terms of checking what they brought into the country. I also saw customs officials there at the airport when I was there last week. So and which sort of is consistent with what the spokesperson of Home Affairs, C.R. Khoza, told me, that they sent customs officials, they made sure there were SARS, South African Revenue Services officials as well, to just check if everything was in order. There were also health officials, according to Home Affairs. So they are sort of saying that there's no need to panic.
Malibongwe, I appreciate your time. Thank you very much for helping us and bringing some clarity there. Malibongwe Dayimani there. He is with News 24, and they have been carrying this story. Of course, this has sparked a whole lot of debate and uproar, including calls that are mounting, that are growing in Parliament for President Cyril Ramaphosa and 5 ministers to answer about 21 questions that have got to do with this particular lending.